Hey guys, how's it going? Hopefully well. Today we are back in Minecraft and I have something really quite cool to show you today. Alright, so I've created this scene here and I'm going to show you around and point out a couple oddities here. Alright, so let's start over here. Take a look at this pile of ore. Now at first glance you might think this is diamond ore, but it's not. It's something a little bit different. Over here we have a vegetable patch with pumpkins and some other mysterious vegetable. Over here we have a cart full of coal ore and something seemingly similar, but not exactly. And over here, you may have noticed, is a house made of some strange material and some strange gem as well. It looks a little bit like emerald. If we take a look inside, we can see that there are some bookshelves that are a little bit different than what we're used to. It's got a bit of a dark vibe in here, so let's leave. So that's all I have to show you here. So what exactly is going on here? Okay, so what exactly is today's video about? Now, you obviously noticed there are some mysterious new blocks that have appeared in this world, but what exactly is the significance of all this? Now, strangely enough, this is actually something I've been on the lookout personally for quite a while, because this is actually pretty important for things like map making. Allow me to explain. Now, if you ever actually want to add new blocks to the game, what you have to conventionally do is replace pre-existing blocks. So if you wanted a new block, you might have to replace grass, which works, but it's not always convenient because maybe you want to keep grass. But what I have for you today is something that allows you to add new blocks without destroying blocks or replacing blocks. So let me just show you this. If I open up my inventory, take a look inside and scroll through all of the pages, you will notice that everything is intact. Everything. There's nothing missing here at all. We can pause it if you like to, but on all of these pages, nothing at all is missing. And it also applies to things that aren't on the menu, like dragon eggs and command blocks. Nothing is missing. So, what exactly is going on here? I just know that some of you think you've got this all worked out, but you're wrong. You're dead wrong. These are not entities. These aren't entities. These aren't arm stands with shulkers inside them or barrows or anything. These legitimately are blocks. In fact, if I just open my F3 screen like so and take a look around, if you look here, you'll see this is the entity count and you'll see that it is at 0. So what is going on here? This is actually surprisingly pretty simple, and I'm surprised with myself for not thinking of it sooner. Okay, I'll stop teasing you and I'll just show you what they are. Alright, so what these are mob spawners. Mob spawners, and you might be wondering how that works out, but allow me to actually dissect exactly how I assembled these. Alright, so we start with freezing the spawner. Now you may be wondering, how exactly do I freeze a spawner? Well, it's actually very, very simple. All you have to do is change the required player range to 0, and now it can no longer spawn and it will stop spinning. The next step is to replace the entity with something that can wear armor. I suggest the armor stand because this creates the lowest footprint possible if you use marker 1 and invisible 1. The next step is to create a model. I used a damaged diamond hoe here, but you can use whatever you like. I just plopped this on this little guy's head using this command. And then all you want to do is you want to adjust the model so that it fits the proportions of a regular block using the display settings in the JSON file. So you just rotate, translate, and scale until you get to the perfect match. I'm going to be nice, so here are the actual exact proportions I used, and this seems to work pretty well. I just realised I'm a little bit of a liar. So the last step is actually to remove the mob cage texture. But if you wanted to, you could just retroactively add it back in. So you do have to remove one tiny little texture, but infinite textures versus one texture, it's a pretty good deal to me. Okay, so that's how they work and how they're made. But I'd actually like to show their efficiency. So mob spawners are actually something called a tile entity, which is kind of like a hybrid between a block and an entity. And typically they are a little bit more resource sensitive than regular blocks because they're kind of got more data in them. But at the same time, they tend to be more efficient than regular entities. And I'm going to just show you this. All right, so over here, I'm going to press this button and we're going to spawn in 256 of these spawners. Take a look at that, and if we take a look at my FPS, we get around about, if we just got to stand still a little bit, we get around about 60 FPS, looking at 256. That's 16 by 16. Okay, so if we get rid of these guys and we spawn in the same amount of those, but for entities, so we come down here and spawn in 256 entities of the same type. So let's just take a look, watch the number go up. So we get 256. As you can see already, we've kind of reached the same point. So once we get to 256, so right about here, you can see that we're getting 34 40, maybe 40 FPS. So what I've observed is that these disguise blocks are actually about 50% more efficient than using regular entities, which is, I think, very, very good. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much all there is to it. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, a like is, of course, always much appreciated. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you next time.